I hear you, seller. You're frustrated. You did not expect your home to still be sitting on the market. You thought you'd have more showings and you thought you'd have offers. You thought buyers would see the value. And now you're probably sitting there thinking, what is going on? Is it the market? Is it my agent? Is it the price? Is it the house? And listen, sometimes it is the market, sometimes it is the marketing, and sometimes it is the price. But a lot of times it is the things buyers are seeing, feeling, and worrying about that sellers do not always want to talk about. And I get it. Nobody wants to hear that their home has issues. Nobody wants to hear that the buyers are picking it apart. And nobody wants to hear that something that they have lived with for years may be a red flag to someone else. But I have these conversations with sellers all the time, so I know what I'm talking about. Sellers may not like it, but it is important to understand. Because if buyers are walking through your home and silently saying, nope, not for me, you need to know why. So let's look at the reasons why together. The first reason your home may not be selling is deferred exterior maintenance. And I'm not talking about one tiny piece of peeling paint that nobody notices. I'm talking about rotting siding, rotting trim, soft wood, peeling paint, wood around the windows that looks tired and or soft. All the exterior things sellers sometimes stop seeing because they've lived there for so long. But buyers see it immediately. They pull up to the house, and before they even get out of the car, they're already forming an opinion. And if the outside looks neglected, they start wondering what else has been neglected. This is the part sellers sometimes miss. Buyers are not just looking at the rotting trim and thinking, oh, this needs to be fixed. No, they're thinking, has water gotten in? Is there more damage behind that? What is this going to cost me? Is this house going to be a headache? That is where the fear starts. And once a buyer starts feeling fear, their enthusiasm drops. Okay. So the second reason is old windows. And oh my goodness, sellers underestimate this one. If the windows do not open, do not close, and have broken seals, foggy glass, drafts, moisture between the panes, or wood rotten around them, buyers notice. And even if they do not say much when they are walking through the house during the showing, trust me, they are thinking about it because windows are not a small ticket item. Buyers may have been standing in your living room thinking, I really like this house. And then they see the foggy windows, and suddenly their brain goes to, how much is that going to cost? And that is the problem. You want buyers emotionally moving closer to the house, not mentally creating a repair spreadsheet before they even leave. The third reason is the crawl space. Now, I know most sellers are not crawling around under the house every weekend checking things out, but buyers care, inspectors care. And if that crawl space has falling insulation, moisture issues, no vapor barrier, musty smells, standing water, wood moisture concerns, or anything that looks like potential mold growth, buyers can get spooked fast. And sometimes a crawl space issue may be fixable. Sometimes it may even be as bad, may not be as bad as buyers think, but preparation matters. If buyers open that crawl space door and read like an inspection report and it sounds scary, yeah, they may start backing away. So let's be honest. Most buyers do not fully understand crawl spaces. So when they hear moisture, mold, fungus, wood rot, or structural concerns, their brain goes straight to the worst case scenario. This is why you need to know what is going on before you list. Do not let the buyer be the first one to discover it. The fourth reason is being near a creek or other body of water. Now, I personally love a pretty natural setting. A creek can be beautiful. Trees, privacy, the sound of water. I get why sellers see it as a positive, but buyers may not see peaceful. They may see flood risk. They may wonder, does this yard flood? Has water ever gotten near the house? Is flood insurance required? What happens during a hurricane? What happens after days of just heavy rain? And here's the kicker. Even if the homeowner has never flooded, buyers may still be afraid of it. This does not mean the house cannot sell, but it does mean you need to be ready for that objection. You need information, you need documentation, you need to know the flood zone, you need to know the history. You need to understand how buyers are going to perceive that water feature because what you call peaceful, they may call risky. The fifth reason is no usable backyard. And this is another one where sellers say, oh, but we have a backyard. Okay, yes, technically, but can people use it? If the yard drops off sharply and it is heavily sloped, if there is no flat space, if the backyard feels more like a hill than a yard, that matters. Buyers are thinking about how they live. They may want a space for dogs. They may want a patio. They may want a fire pit. They may want a garden. They may want to entertain. They may want somewhere to sit with a cup of coffee without feeling like they are sliding down a mountain. And if the backyard is not usable, that can be a big deal. Not for every buyer, but for enough buyers that it can absolutely impact the demand. So if your home has a backyard that looks good in photos, but disappoints in person, that could be one reason buyers are hesitating. The sixth reason is a steep driveway. And sellers, I say this with love. Just because you have gotten used to your driveway does not mean buyers will. You may know exactly how to park on it. You may know where guests should park. You may know how water drains when it rains. You may know it's really not that big of a deal, but buyers are seeing it for the first time and they're thinking, where would my guest park? Will my car scrape? Will delivery trucks have trouble? What happens in bad weather? Is water flowing toward the house? Is this going to annoy me every single day? A steep driveway can make a buyer pause. And buyers do not always need a reason to say no. Sometimes they just need enough little concerns to stop feeling excited. The seventh reason is noise. Train tracks, a major road, highway noise, a busy intersection, commercial activity nearby. Anything that creates consistent noise can be a buyer objection. And I know what sellers say. You get used to it. Maybe you do, but buyers are not used to it during the showing and they are standing in the backyard hearing the cars go by. They are in the primary bedroom wondering if will hear traffic at night. They are thinking about resale even before they buy the house. So that does not mean homes near roads or train tracks do not sell. Of course they do, but it does mean the price, marketing, and expectations need to be realistic. You cannot pretend noise does not exist because you have learned to tune it out. Not the case. The eighth reason is an older roof. And let me be clear, I am not saying that every roof over 10 years old is bad. That would be ridiculous. But buyers pay attention to roof age. Insurance companies may pay attention to roof age. Inspectors definitely pay attention to roof condition. And when buyers hear that a roof is older, they start wondering how soon they'll have to replace it and whether the insurance will cover it. This is a big expense. So if the roof is older than 10 years, you need to know the condition. Has it been inspected? Has it been maintained? Are there repairs needed? Is there documentation? Because if you do not know, the buyer's inspector is going to tell them. And at that point, you may be negotiating from a weaker position. There you go. The ninth reason is the home needs major interior renovations, but it's priced like a move-in ready home. Well, this is where sellers can get themselves in trouble. They look at the home down the street that sold for a certain price and say, yeah, well, my house should sell for that too. But was that home updated? Was the kitchen renovated? Were the bathrooms renovated? Did it have fresh paint, new flooring, modern lighting, updated fixtures, a better layout? Maybe better outdoor living, because buyers are not just comparing square footage, they are comparing condition. And if your home needs a new kitchen, new bathrooms, new floors, new paint, new lighting, and so forth, yeah, that does not mean it's a bad house. It just means it cannot be priced like the renovated one. Buyers are smart. They know what work costs. And even when they do not know the exact number, they know enough to say, hey, this feels expensive. The 10th reason, and of course, we have to say it, is the price too high? And I know sellers hate this one, but it is honestly usually the truth. Because here is the thing, almost every issue has a price. Busy road, there's a price. Old windows, there's a price. Crawl space concerns, there is a price. Dated interior, steep driveway, no usable backyard, there is a price. The problem happens when sellers want buyers to overlook the issues and still pay as if the house has none of them. This is not how it works. Buyers are not just asking, do I like this house? They are asking, do I like this house enough at this price? And that is the part sellers need to hear. Sometimes buyers are not neglecting your house, they are rejecting your house at the current price. That is a very different thing. So let's bring this all together. If your home is not selling, it may not be because buyers are gone. It may not be because nobody wants your neighborhood. It may not even be because your house is a bad house. It may be because buyers are seeing risk. They're seeing repairs. They're seeing inconvenience. They are seeing future expenses. They are seeing things that they do not want to deal with unless the price makes sense. And that is why I say this all the time. Selling a home is not about what the seller hopes buyers will ignore. It is about understanding what buyers will notice because they are noticing. They are walking through your house and making decisions quickly. They are comparing it to everything else on the market. They are calculating costs. They are imagining what they would have to fix. And if the math or the feeling does not work, they move on. So if you are thinking about selling, this is why the strategy before you list matters so much. You need someone who is going to walk you through your house and tell you the truth, not just tell you what you want to hear to get the listing. You need to know what buyers are likely to object to. You need to know what is worth fixing and what is not. You need to know how to position the home. And yes, you need to price it based on the reality of the property, not just the dream number in your head. This is how you avoid sitting on the market wondering what happened. So, if you're thinking about selling in the triangle, let's talk before you list because I would much rather help you prepare correctly from the beginning than have you call me later asking why your home is not selling. And if this video made you think, comment below and tell me which one of these would make you hesitate as a buyer. Then watch this video next because I'm breaking down what sellers should actually fix before listing and what is not worth wasting your money on.